Good afternoon and welcome to the Adrian-John podcast, where I chat with the community, tackling topics such as business, events, fears, challenges, accomplishments, and more in effort to inspire others. Today's guest is Mario Salinas with MSJ Marketing Consultants. But first, let's go to the intro. Mario, hey, how are you doing?
Doing great, Adrian. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing well. Yeah, I'm glad to have you on the podcast here. This is definitely a topic that you do for business that I've always had questions about, and I'm sure a lot of others, business owners, definitely do have questions, and maybe there's some things that you can definitely answer for us, and take care of those myths, and then just kind of give people what to really expect. If they do go that route, maybe they'll give you contact, give you a call, or if they go somewhere else, they still at least have some type of knowledge of what to expect.
Definitely, definitely. And that's one of the biggest reasons, why I started this was to help the local, business grow and not get taken advantage of, when they're out there trying to market their business.
Definitely. Okay. So to me, I always think of like the car warranty. They're always calling you saying, "Hey, your warranty," and you're like, "Oh," or with some businesses out there, I'm sure you've gotten those calls about your Google's your business is not listed in Google. So I'm like, "Hey, like I'm listed. I can look it up. My friends and family look it up. So it feels like a scam." And with things like that, uh, they get calls from people about marketing, about SEO, about you know putting you on the first page and different things. And uh, what can you say about what can you talk about that as far as like the challenges that you receive and who you could trust and who not to trust, like some key things to look after?
Well, I mean, first of all, you really shouldn't trust anybody till you do your due diligence and do the research yourself. Definitely, somebody could call me up and say, "Hey, I got a call about not being listed on Google My Business," which is the phone calls that you get and I get. Even though I handle Google My Business, I get the calls about my company not being on Google My Business. I'm like, okay, I do this for my own company and I do this for other clients, so I know it's on there. Unfortunately, a lot of these businesses or companies that call you, yeah, it's just a bunch of scams. And if you've noticed, a lot of them are automated because they purchase a bank of numbers, okay, and then they just rotate, the numbers, play the automatic, phone call, hoping that somebody, clicks that. They always tell you if you want to be connected to a Google specialist, click, press one or press two or whatever it is. And unfortunately, they never give you that option to say press nine to be removed from our list because they want you to press that one or two. Um, but like I said, always do your due diligence like you did, and actually go there and search your company name. Okay. So my company name is MSJ Marketing Consultants. So if I go and Google MSJ Marketing Consultants, there should be a Google My Business listing on the page, and that's what you want to see. Okay. Uh, Unfortunately, there's a lot of businesses that don't have their Google My Business listed. Okay. So when we speak about SEO, which is the main focus for my company, there's two facets of online presence. Okay, there's the map pack, which is part of the Google My Business listing that we're talking about, and then there's the organic listing, which is about 10 listings right below that three pack, that shows up. So if you don't have a Google My Business listing, you're not going to show up on the three pack. And if you don't have a website, you're not going to show up on the organic, part of the first page. The question I get asked is why is this important? The main reason that you want to show up on the first page of Google is because statistically speaking, over 85% of all people looking for a business product or service do so by searching for it online, and mainly Google because they own the biggest market share out there. And over 90% of those people will never go past the first page of Google. So I'm sure you've done it. I know I do it all the time. Whatever you're looking for, pizza near me, you need a plumber, plumber, I live in the 79912 area. So, plumber 79912 or plumber West Side El Paso. And I'll usually go through that. If I'm on my phone, then I look at the three pack, the map pack, which is the Google My Business. If I'm on my desktop, you obviously can see the three pack and then a little bit more listings because it shows the 10 organics as well. It also shows them on your phone, but when you search on your mobile phone, because your screen is so small, usually the first things that you see are the map pack listings. So
I see.
always make sure on your own, or like we were talking earlier, and you have somebody go and check. Hey, do me a favor, can you go check, this and make sure you can see me, which is a good idea to do as well.
Gotcha. So, I mean, you might be on the second or third page or whatnot, but for the most part, like my business is second or third page, then you're registered. I mean, what I recall is I had to fill out a form. They mailed it to you. There was a code. You fill that out, your business, and then you're good to go. But like you're saying, there's a lot of people who don't have websites, and I do see like the top. A lot of times when you do the top, when you search like pizza near me or something, you have the organic underneath, and then you have at the top, you said it was map,
Yeah, what they call the local
the logo.
SEO or organic SEO.
Or okay, because I do see like the ads on there too. Like, is there a difference between, like, I mean, obviously the organic is going to be with your SEO more, but the ads, don't people like kind of pay their way into that, or?
Yeah, so what you do is you set up an account with Google, and it's called Google AdWords. Okay.
Mhm.
And basically what that means is that you're setting up, or you're having somebody like me, because I also offer the your AdWords packages. Um, you're setting up ads, okay, through Google, and you're going to get charged X amount. So again, let's say you're Googling pizza near me, right? And that's one of the Googles that we're targeting on your Google AdWords. Every time somebody clicks on your ad, you're going to get charged X amount. So let's say that cost is, and Google determines what that cost is based on the popularity of the keyword, right? So let's say that one keyword is worth $5 to them. That's what the fee that they're going to charge you. So that means that every time somebody clicks on your ad, your credit card is going to get charged those $5 through Google.
Oh,
And then yeah, they base it. I think they do it like every quarter. I mean, every 2 weeks or every month, depending. They charge you X amount. So they total
oh,
up all the times your website was clicked or your ad was clicked, and then you get a bill through Google AdWords. But then you're also paying somebody like me, if I set it up, a fee to manage your account. If you set it up and you're the business owner, well then you're not going to charge yourself anything. You're just
right.
going to pay what Google's going to charge you. But if you're hiring a digital marketing company like myself, we're going to charge you a fee to manage that account every month. So huge thing that a lot of people don't know. There's AdWords, there's the map pack, and then there's the organic, right?
Okay.
Again, statistically speaking, more people will end up clicking on either the map pack or the organic before they click on an ad.
Yeah.
Why? Perception. Because most people will see that AD on it and say, okay, well, this company is obviously paying to be on that spot. So to them, it's like, well, if they have to pay to be on that first spot or second spot, whatever, I don't really want to contact them. I'd rather look at somebody else. And that's why they usually pick somebody from the map pack or the organic listings. So
And
you're going to
that's
get
where the
more.
SEO will come in with the organic, because you help them get to that first page in a sense, in an organic sense, which And once everything gets going, you won't necessarily need to pay for those ads. And is it I guess, is it always, do you, I guess, at what point do you say, okay, you don't no longer need someone managing your SEO, or does it keep changing all the time where you continually will need someone to always
Yeah.
manage?
So the easy way to answer that is, photographer. Like I said, there's 3 map packs listings and 10 organic. Okay. Let's say I get you into that first page as a photographer, best photographer in El Paso. Somebody Googles that, they
Mhm.
see your website. Okay. You start getting all this business, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't need Mario anymore. I don't need MSJ marketing anymore.
Yeah.
Let me halt the SEO, and I'm already on the first page. Yeah, you're already on the first page. For how long though? Because
Mm.
there's the photographers on the second page and on the third page that are trying to get on that first page, who are probably paying somebody like myself to get them on that first page. So what's going to happen is that SEO isn't being done on your website anymore. Okay. And these people on the second page, these businesses on the second page and third page are paying somebody. Sooner or later, they're going to overtake, you're going to see your website falling down further and further down the spots till eventually you're on that second page and somebody overtakes you on that first page. And then I get the little call every single time that happens. Hey, my phone's not ringing as much as it used to. What's going on? And
Yeah.
I'll give them the courtesy of, oh, you're not on the first page anymore. Well,
Yeah.
why not? I'm not doing SEO anymore. You stop
Yeah.
paying, you stop the service, right? So the short answer to that is yeah. And I don't do contracts. I don't believe in contracts. So if you want to hire me for a month, 3 months, a year, I have clients that I've been with me since pretty much when I started my business 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago. I have clients that have been with me for 4 years, 3 years, because they know the value of it, right? And
Right.
usually what happens is that I have clients that I get them on that first page, and then they're like, hey, time out, don't want to pay anymore. Okay, hey, thank you very much. If there's ever anything I can do, let me know. And then they're calling me when they're not getting business anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, remember that amount you were paying? Well,
Yeah.
gonna do a little more because now I've got to really work a little bit more harder to try and get you up to that
Gotcha.
first page. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So SEO is very important, especially to get, you know, eyes on your site. Um,
Yes.
with that being said, and we touched a little bit about Google. What would be the difference? Is there any advantages or disadvantages as far as creating that listing through Google? Because it's almost like Google creates that I guess that web page for you versus you actually getting coding for your whole page, and or hiring someone to do a website, or going through some of the other softwares that they have the templates, like Squarespace or
Yeah.
Wix or something like that. Is it better since it's on a um, Google search engine, to just go with just the Google listing website that they have, or is it maybe more, better to go with something different, like creating your own website and then?
Yeah. So here's my answer to that. Google, when you create your Google My Business listing, they automatically give you a Google business site, right? What they call a business site. It's a very generic, very generic website. I don't know if you've ever seen yours, but it really is a very generic website. Number two, and really number one, you don't own that website. So if Google ever decides to cancel your Google My Business, which they can for whatever reason, guess what? You're out of a website, you're out of a Google My Business listing, you're out of everything. So I always tell my clients, always control all your assets, right? Always control all your assets. Yes, you're gonna pay a dollar amount to get a website created, which we also do. We develop websites. But once you create that website and once it's paid for, you own it. Nobody can take it away from you unless you no longer register your domain name. So when you go register a domain name, you register for a minimum of 1 year. You can do 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, right? But most people go and register for a year and then they forget, oh my God, I have to re-register my domain. And it's only like a $15 fee every year, which is pretty cheap if you think about it. $15 a year for a domain name is very inexpensive. And then they don't re-register it. And then people try and go find, mariosalinas.com, and oh my goodness, I forgot to register it. And that website no longer exists anymore.
I see.
So as long as you keep up with, either registering it for 5 years, 10 years, or every year, you're always going to own that website. So why would you let somebody else control what, your business is all about? You know, you should have access to anything that you own for your business. And like I said, when I develop a website, I register the domain for you. I host it for you for free for a full year, and then I develop the website. And once it's paid for, whatever that fee is, it's yours. If at one point after the year of me hosting it, you don't want me to host it anymore, everything's transferred over to you. You're now the owner of your own website for as long as you have your business. So that's really the reason why you don't want to do, the free stuff. Yes, it's free, but yes, it's very, very generic. And when it comes to ranking SEO, content is king, and you want to be able to control uh, everything that you own and be able to upload, remove, add, brand yourself. You have a special going on this month. You're able to either do it yourself or again hire somebody like myself to say, "Hey, Mario, I've got this deal coming up in October. I need this, on the first page, on the front page of my website," and we do all that for you.
So
So
what all is included? Like you hand it looks like you handle some of the you know looks like you would handle like deals. What all do you actually do? So, and what I mean by that is like do you handle the calendar events, or I guess the whole entire website as a whole? They just call you and say, "Hey, you know what, Mario, I need you to change this heading or change this and do that," or and you do it. It's part of what you offer,
yes,
or
so
there are certain things that you don't that the client has to do.
no, so basically I can do any changes you want, and really the way I handle that is an hourly fee. So I'll tell you, hey Adrian, I charge $100 an hour, right? And you say, okay, well, great. I've got some photographs I want to upload on my website. You send them to me, or I go pick up a USB drive, and then you tell me this is where I want them. I want them on the gallery page, or you know what, I want to put these three in the home page, and this one in that page, whatever it is. I do that. I time myself, and let's say it takes me 20 minutes to do, right? If it's just uploading stuff, it usually doesn't take a lot of time. And really, uploading pictures is very time consuming as far as the uploading, but I usually don't charge for that. I can
Gotcha.
I can sit here on my computer, do the uploading, and then I've got another computer here, I've got one here, and I'll start working over here. Like, why am I going
Right,
to charge you for uploading? So
right.
now you've got 40 minutes left on that $100, you know, an hour fee. And you don't do anything for the rest of that month. But next month, you have more photos, and it's another 20 minutes. And then the third month, same thing. So in 3 months, you pay me $100. I mean, right?
So you
Or
allowed to roll over.
yeah, I'll roll it over. It's not like, well, you've got 3 hours to use this up. No,
Gotcha.
I'm very fair. I'm not here to take advantage of anybody. I'm not the cheapest. I'm not the most expensive. I just give out very fair pricing, whether it's a website, whether it's SEO, whether it's social media management, whether it's Google AdWords. Um, I kind of know the standards here in El Paso and what competitors of mine, if that's what you want to call them, charge. And I'm very fair when it comes to me pricing it. You go anywhere else, you go to the bigger cities, which unfortunately we should be a bigger city, but we're not considered a bigger city. You're going to pay almost twice as much for the same type of service that you would be paying for here in El Paso, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so the other thing though, I'm pretty much getting that when you're doing the uploads, I mean, it's not necessarily just uploading the photo. I mean, even though that's what you're doing, but there's other things behind that too, right? Isn't there SEO that go into the photo, like keywords and
Yes.
or
So if we're doing SEO and let's say I develop your website and you're also on an SEO package with me, right? And we're trying to rank you for different keywords. What I do when you send me the photographs, then yeah, there's another aspect to that because there's renaming the photographs to, and you don't want to do what's called keyword stuffing. That used to work, you know, 5, 8, 10 years ago,
right?
where if you're trying to rank for, photographer in El Paso, all you would do is stuff everything as photographer in El Paso, and boom, you'd be ranking on that first page with no time. Well, Google kind of caught onto that. So now there's all these Google algorithms that into play almost every year. There's some sort of algorithm, sometimes two or three, right? And they actually penalize you for stuff like that.
Mm,
So there's companies that were ranking on the first page because they stuffed keywords, and then an algorithm came by, and boom, all of a sudden they're on the second, third, fourth, fifth page, and they don't realize what's going on. So we keep up to date with all the different algorithm changes. And so what we do is we change, a photo name. We add, geolocation, your latitude, longitude, kind of, all those things. There's about 5 or 6 different things that we go through when we're uploading a photograph if we're doing SEO on your website, because eventually that also helps in the ranking process for your website.
so that there definitely is more to it than just the upload, and at the same token, there are things that could hurt your ranking. So it's not necessarily just, for others out there that might be thinking it's just uploading a photo. It's doing it the proper and correct way to make sure that you're ranking properly.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people don't realize the amount of behind the scenes work that goes on to ranking your website, because there's both on page and off page. When it comes to SEO, on page are stuff that we do on your website. Photographs, meta titles, meta descriptions, contents, interlinking, stuff like that. And if possibly, linking out to, authoritative, websites. So a lot of that stuff goes into your ranking process. And then there's the off page, which is grabbing backlinks from different websites, authoritative websites that link back to your website. But the trick there is anchor text diversity, right? Because again, you can't just link back to your website using your keywords, because then you're going to get penalized. A lot of people are stuck on that second page and they
Hmm.
don't understand why. And it's either one of two things: your on page is off, or your link diversity, anchor text diversity is off. So we look at all that and we try and fix all that sooner than later, so that you can get on that first page and get ranking for your website and have people start clicking on your website. Your phone rings and you're like, there's MSJ doing their job.
So
Yeah.
I did catch a couple of things you were talking about, the back linking there, and um, is what you offer, is it a combination of everything that is for their business? So for example, social media sites backlinking to the website, is that part of one thing or is it two separate things? Pinterest, I know Pinterest is a big thing too. So
Yeah.
anything where people can click on a web page and then it reverts or goes to your web page, even if it's
Correct.
your social media site. Is that all part of like one package?
Uh, yes. Well, yes and no. That's social media management, or what
Okay.
they call SMM. So
Okay.
social media management is actually posting on your behalf to your social media accounts, right? And
Mhm.
then those packages break down into, okay, well, I only have a Facebook page, or I have a
Mhm.
Facebook page and a Instagram page, and so we base our pricing based on that. So what we end up doing is posting, either once a day, 3 times a week, or 5 times a week, right? And like I said, it's either through one social media platform or all your social media. Obviously, the more social media platforms you have, the bigger the investment is. But that helps with branding. Okay, social media helps with your branding of your business, because if you've got followers following your social media, you know, pages, then anytime we might blog, we might have a blog on your website, which is part of the SEO package, right? So
Mhm.
let's say once a month or twice a month, we go and upload a piece of content based on your type of niche. Then we can also post that on your social media account, say Facebook, right? And we're talking about uh, lenses or something having to do with photography. And then we actually put the URL of that post on your website. So it helps your branding because it's found on social media,
Mhm.
but it also helps your SEO because now you've got an external link pointing to your website. And not only that, but now you've got people clicking from your Facebook going to your website, which is what you want, right?
Right.
Because now that they're on your website and they're reading that blog about different lenses or different events that you cover, stuff like that, you want them engaged, right? So you want them to stay on that website, your website, and then they might click. You say, hey, my Aunt Trudy's getting married or whatever, my cousin Yoli's getting married. And then if you have like a price tab, they'll go to the prices. Maybe they send the information to their family or friend who's getting married or thinking about getting married. And then
Mhm.
you end up getting business that way. So it all works hand in hand, the social media and the SEO. And so does the SEM, search engine marketing, which is the AdWords. It actually also helps out your SEO because if you're creating ads through Google AdWords that
Mhm.
click back to your website, right? Then that's considered a backlink.
That's a
Uh,
backlink too, as well
that's
with
a
that.
backlink to your website, yeah. Unless
Yeah.
a company, like we've done stuff where we actually create a landing page that's
Mhm.
outside of your website, and then it goes to the landing page and not your website. Okay, but a lot of times what I like to do is if we're doing the landing page, somebody clicks on that, they have the information, and they can either fill in a form or give you a call. But I'll also put a link back to your website so that maybe they're interested enough to click it, and it goes to your website. So
And
that
now
also,
that counts as a
yeah,
backlink.
exactly.
Well, I mean, you're touching base on. I mean, you're very versed and thorough, and obviously it's your business. What got you into it? I know that you did irrigation for some time, and then you just decided to
Yeah.
make the jump. Was this something that was always, you had interest in, and you decided to pursue it, or yeah,
So
did it
funny
just?
enough, when I got involved in my business, I had no idea how to develop a website.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to do SEO. I had done some AdWords, on my own, but I had no idea. So I was in the irrigation industry for 25 plus years. I know I look like I'm 28, but I'm not. um, Selling irrigation systems, and I dealt with all the contractors, the school districts, the parks. So anytime a big project was coming in, I visit with the contractors and they, give them my pricing on the irrigation. But what I saw a lot was because El Paso was booming at one point. Back in 2008 when the economy took a hit, we were actually booming because of Fort Bliss, and that maintained our economy here in El Paso. But what I
Right.
also noticed is that a lot of outside companies started looking into El Paso and trying to get all this business from El Paso contractors, right? And unfortunately, like even the city uh, hires a lot of external uh, landscape architects. They get submissions from different contractors from different cities. And I always thought, man, I always felt bad for the local contractors because I know how hard they work, right? So when
Right.
I decided, I worked for a local company, then I worked for a national company. But man, I was traveling so much. I was traveling all over Texas, Colorado, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington, and which would be great for a young kid. But I'm 54, and this was 6 years ago, so I was in my late 40s.
Oh, I thought you said you were 28 earlier, right? That's what
Yeah,
I thought. You were
man,
28. I was like,
I
hey.
know. But I got tired. I got tired of traveling so much, and it's tiring. I was leaving Sundays, coming back Thursdays, Sundays, Thursdays, Sundays, Thursdays, and then I would stay one week in El Paso. And then I was like, no, there's got to be more, right? I've always been in sales. I have a marketing degree, and when I finally left the irrigation industry, I took about 2, maybe 3 months off to play nothing but golf, and then I got, yeah, it was fun, but you get a little bored. So January of 2015, I actually started my business, and it was, they say if you're going to do something, get into the fire, get that going, because if not, you're never going to go anywhere. So I ended up hiring a gentleman to teach me SEO. I think at that point, and I still, talk to him very much. I think I paid him like $1,000 for like 5 hours of SEO training.
Okay.
I'm like, let's do it.
Let's do
Paid
it.
him, got the training. I actually learned website development from watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned website. I got my first client like in less than a month, and they already had their website. So I started with the SEO, but I took everything I learned and I applied it. And I remember 2 weeks after I started helping them, I get a phone call from the lady, which I still am in contact with her, because now she owns a huge networking company or marketing, BNI. I don't know if you're familiar with BNI, Business Networking International,
No,
and it's
no,
a
I'm not familiar.
worldwide networking group, and I'm part of BNI.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, so I helped her with her SEO, and I remember like no more than 3 weeks into it, she calls me all excited to tell me that she got a call because somebody found her on Google.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So for me, she was excited. I think I was even more excited
Well,
because everything that I learned,
yeah.
was coming to fruition, and I
Mhm.
just went from there and getting more and more clients, and then I ended up joining BNI also in 2015, and that helped me grow more because it's a referral based networking group. So people knew what I was doing, and I was getting more and more referrals, and then those referrals would refer me to this, other company, and I still did the old, knock on the doors or pick up the phone, and I got some business out of that. And right now, I'm actually, most of my business is just referral. People that know me, people that know what I do, people that trust me, and people looking to get a website done, or they're looking for marketing help, and that's how I get my business now.
See, and that's a good testament to, like you said, you're there to help people, um, and for people to give you an opportunity if they're looking at that route. Just because, I mean, for people to get referrals, you have to be doing something right, taking care of what you say you're going to do, meeting the customer's needs, and delivering on it. So,
Correct.
if you're hitting all those, I there's no question to say that, hey, this guy, he's legit, he's the real deal. And you had great success early on. Like I could only imagine when you said that that company you were working for, is a pretty big company, and then you're getting a call because you're the reason for them being found online. Like that's exciting. When I'm doing the real estate photos, like I love it when realtors call me and say, "Hey, you know what? Like I just sold this house and I didn't even have to show it. They went based off photos." And I'm just like, "Oh, like okay, well, maybe the rates should go up or something." I don't know. I'm just no,
Yeah.
that's how you know someone is very passionate about what they're doing because they're not in it for they're not in it to take advantage of people. They're really giving their heart. They're putting hard work into it. Like me, that's what I want to do. I want to sell the house just with the photos. That's my main goal. When I'm helping people with their photos or videos, like I'm out to do um when I'm helping people selling, shooting the photos and videos, I'm out to try to get that portfolio shot because it's going to help me get my other next clients. And you saw that obviously you helped, and that's what helped, keep the referral start going. And that's pretty awesome. Was there any, I mean, that's definitely a huge success story, and that you're continuing to do that. Was there any fears or challenges beforehand? Like, I mean, 25 years was it in irrigation, and then all of a sudden
Yes.
you just decided to do this other thing? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was scary. It was scary. I'm not gonna lie, but I've always had this entrepreneur type of mind. Even as a kid, I would sell candy out of my room to the neighborhood kids. It's like I've always had this entrepreneurial kind of mentality. So when I started, yeah, I was scared, but I'm a big believer in positive, mentality, motivating yourself, doing right by others. And I thought, as long as I'm doing those things, that's what helped me succeed in the irrigation industry. So I knew I could, kind of harness all of that and take it onto my business. And here we are back, almost 7 years, because January of 2022, it'll be 7 years with my marketing company. So it's it was very challenging for me, as far as I didn't know where it was going to go, but I knew that if anybody could do it, I felt very confident that I could do it. And so I'm glad I took that leap of faith, uh, because it's like, if you don't take that leap of faith, then you're always going to have the what ifs.
mm,
Man, I could have done that 2 years ago. I could have had that 8 years ago, whatever. And I tried to live my life to never have those, that mentality of I should have. I'm always man, I did it, and here we are.
oh
What's
yeah,
next? What's next? Bring it
that
on.
that is
And the
so
big thing,
satisfying.
yeah. So the big thing for me is, last year with the whole pandemic, with the whole quarantine, I kind of went back to when I first started, because I'm like, man, what's going to happen? All these businesses are closing. Um, I was waiting for that call from my clients to say, we're closing. I don't need your services anymore. And knock on wood, Adrian, I grew my company last year. I acquired more business through the whole pandemic, because people were still referring me. And if anything, if we were taught anything about last year's pandemic, is that the people who weren't prepared to be found online were a lot of those that that ended up closing their doors. So I
Mm.
hope, the message last year for business, as far as business, is that you need to, don't stop on marketing, whatever it is, whether it's, website. And a lot of people don't have a website. A website should be like a salesperson for you. It should be working for you 24/7, no matter what. How many times have you woken up at, or you're up at 2, 3 in the morning thinking about, a new golf club, right? Whatever it is. And you're there researching, the types of golf clubs. I mean, your website should be a salesperson for you, right? But how do you you need to give that website the tools by, doing SEO, by doing SEM, by doing SMM, all those things that are going to catapult. Because I always say, and I've talked to some business owners and say, I've got a great website, and then I've already looked at it by the time I get, to their office. I'm like, you have an awesome, terrific website, right? But I could have a Lamborghini, but if it's always in my garage, nobody's ever going to see my Lamborghini. And that's your website. You could have the best, most beautiful website in this world, but if nobody finds it, if nobody knows about it, what good does it serve you? You know,
Right. That
and
presence, that online presence is
exactly, and that's what you should be thinking about as a business owner. Great, you have a website. Now what? Right? Unless I tell you what my website is, you don't know. And most people, like I said, will search either through a product, service, or a business name. So, photographer in El Paso, Adrian-John, that's your brand, right? Or your website. If it's adrianjohn.com or whatever it is, that's how they're gonna find you. And that's what I help businesses do, is get noticed online with, from people that are trying to find what you're selling, whether it's a product or service. So
right. Right.
that's in a nutshell. That's what I do. I help your bank account grow.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is definitely. I mean, you put a little investment in, and the returns will come. Just
yeah,
you gotta have faith and respect the process. And no, I'm glad that to have you on, and because you clarified a lot for me. You know, so many of people out there that have businesses or anything. There's so many thoughts that go through people's heads as far as what's the next step, what to trust, what not to trust, what to do and what not. No one ever wants to feel like they're being taken. And you know, you explaining everything how it works. Yes, like you said earlier, you may not be the least expensive, and you might not be the prices either, but you're gonna deliver on what you are offering, and
correct.
the referral, your business getting a lot of referrals is a
Yes.
testament to that. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That
and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm the only local, digital marketing company that doesn't have that doesn't lock you into, a contract. I think most everybody here is going to either do a 6 month, but most of them do a year
wow.
contract with you. I don't. If you want to stay with me for a month, great. If a year down the road you say, hey, I'm already ranking, I don't need you, great. Hey, thank you for your business. Much, I wish nothing but success for you. So, I think most companies, like I said, will lock you into a contract if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
and the problem with that, and what I don't want happening, Adrian, is if you're locked into a contract, right? And let's say I have you on a 1 year contract, and it's 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, 8 months down the road, and I still haven't given you any results, but you've already paid me, whatever, $8,000.
Hmm.
That's not good. And then you're
Yeah.
calling me up saying, hey, here we are 6 months down, and I haven't gotten any results, or 8 months down, right? A lot of
Hmm.
companies pay somebody like me a full year, and they never get any results. So if I'm going to keep you on as a client, it's because I've given you results, and that's how I have. Right now I have businesses that have been on with me for 2, 4, the whole span of my existence, because I provide what I say I'm going to provide, and that's the way I want to get be known, and not like, oh yeah, like those guys at MSJ, man, I paid them $10,000 and they never got me anything, in return. So
Yeah.
SEO is not a guaranteed result. Okay, I don't care which company you talk to. If they tell you it's guaranteed, have them give it to you in writing, because SEO is not guaranteed. Okay, it's a process and it's attainable, but it's not guaranteed. And the reason I say it's not guaranteed is because Google's always changing. And if,
Hmm.
if a company like me is not up to date on the changes, you're going to be knocked out, right away, or you're not even going to get to that first page, because they're not doing their job right, or
Right.
I can get you on that first page for a day, and then boom, your competitors, you know, overtake you because they're doing a better job. So it's not a guaranteed thing, but it is a very attainable process if the company knows what they're doing. And I like to pat myself on the back and say, we know what we're doing.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a lot of great information there, and yeah, um, you said you were pretty competitive, and I take that as you were very motivated and competitive to be successful, because to leave a job that you had 25 years, and some people won't ever take the risk to go to do something that that will ultimately bring them happiness. So I can only imagine how you are just with passions or hobbies. You mentioned golf clubs earlier, so I'm assuming you said you do some golfing, right?
Huge golfer. I love golf. If I could play every day, I go play every day. But yeah, so I've been playing with a group of guys, and we're called Triple D, and
Okay.
we play every Saturday morning. Rain, we're like the mailman, you know, rain, sleet, or snow, man. We're playing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Uh, it's usually between 16 and about 24 of us that go play every week. We have handicaps. We're all very competitive, which I love. I think when you're playing with people who are just as competitive as you or better than you, it makes you up your game even more. So I like playing with these group of guys. We all get along great, and you know, there's always the beer drinking too. So
Uh,
that's always a big plus. But yeah, we play every Saturday, and then some of us will get together during the week, and we'll play maybe once, at least once every week during the week, uh, or sometimes up to 2 3 times a week, which I love. Like I said, that's my biggest passion. I just got some new clubs. I'm still trying to get used to them, but just to kind of give you an example of how competitive I am, I've taken lessons because it's going to
okay.
get me to become a better player. And what did I do for my SEO company? I got a coach to teach me, right? And I think that's very important. Is if you have a passion, if you like something, you might even say, I like this, but I don't know how to do it. Well, don't just sit around and not do anything.
All right.
Research it. YouTube has so many videos out there that you can start learning from. And then once you figure out that, yeah, you know what? I've learned, I think, as much as I can from these videos, it's time to actually go get a coach, or somebody who can make me, take me to the next level. And that's what I end up doing because I want to become a better. I'm 12.3 handicap right now, and I want to get down to that 2 3 handicap
All
place.
right.
But it'll take a while, but I know I can do it. I know I can do it. Yeah.
But but it's exciting seeing the progress and seeing, you
Yes.
get better. I remember just when I first picked up the sticks to play, I was just slicing everything. I was playing in the desert, for the most part. But once I did get that one hit, I got hooked too. So I was, I would always try for that hole in one, but eventually you get a birdie, and then eventually an eagle. I'm still after a hole in one. I don't know why I couldn't get it. I
Well,
haven't
don't
got one yet, but an eagle I
don't feel
have.
bad.
I'm excited.
You got an ego? That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and that my friend was telling me that that eagle was probably better than his hole in one that he had gotten, because I guess it was probably like a 180 yards his hole in one or something like that. And this eagle I shot, like, I have no idea how. We thought it went somewhere totally where else, and we were looking. You're in a cart, you're searching for the
Yeah.
ball somewhere, and I'm just like, I thought I saw it here, and I'm just like, I wonder, what if it went in though? And I was just like, oh, no. And it was in the morning where you have the morning dew,
Yeah.
and looked, and you see the little dots, the little lines, and I was
Nice.
like, "What?" And we went. I was excited. I was. I should have stopped there, but the next one I followed it up with a birdie, and then from there I went to it went downhill. But I had those 2 good those holes,
Yeah,
and, yeah, it's always what do they say? A bad day at golf is always better than a good day at work. So,
exactly, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So when I know I've got like if I know the guys are gonna or a foursome or two foursomes want to go play on a Thursday, for instance, man, I'm working away all day long on a Wednesday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm like trying to get everything done I can so that Thursday I don't feel guilty about going to go play a round of golf.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll work twice as much. And the thing with me is that I work out of my house, so um, I'm always on my computers. I've got three different computers. I'm always doing something, and sometimes I lose track of time, and it'll be 1, 2 in the morning, and I'm like, man. But I force myself to go to bed because then I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work out, which is another of my passions is working out, and I started doing that around 2015, and mainly because I love to eat. I'm,
Ah.
I'm a pig, and I love to eat. I'm 6'1", 220, and I don't want to get to the point where I'm 6'1" and 320, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got to work out, but I love it. At the beginning, it's hard, and you tell yourself, this is just too much. But now I look forward to it. Like I really do. I look forward to working out, and then between the working out and playing golf, at least once, twice a week, I keep fit. It helps me out in my old age, my 28 years. I'm going
You're
back to the
20
28
years.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There
I'm
you
going back to the 28. Uh,
go.
but yeah, so those two are probably my biggest hobbies or passions that I like to do. Spending time with family, like
Right.
like everybody does, and I have a 27-year-old. Um,
You have a 27-year-old and you're 28? How did that happen?
that's him back there when
Oh, okay, yeah.
he was a baby, and now he's 27, and I'm like, man, I'm getting old, man. So I still have that up there so that when people say, do you have a son? I'm like, yeah, there he is, and I don't have to tell him how old he is now. Yeah, but no, love my family, huge family, man. God, family, and work, man. That's basically my life right there. God, family, and work. So I love that I work out of my house, and it's been great for me for almost 7 years. And I think I enjoy it even more than having a brick and mortar. Where you're almost like, it's 5 o'clock, gonna
Time to
punch
go.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I wake up, work out, eat, work, eat again, work, and then eat again. So I love the fact that I can just come here. I work off my cell, my computers, answering text messages, WhatsApp, messages, or Messenger, like you and I have been communicating.
All right.
Um, so yeah, I absolutely love my life. I couldn't ask for I'm blessed. I really am. I couldn't ask for a better life.
That's amazing. That's great. And I'm happy for you. And I could tell when you talk about those any of that or those topics you talk about, you light up, you're happy. I mean, because that's one of the things you'd want when you talk with someone about a business that they're running or services that you're inquiring about. You want to see them light up because it gets you excited too as well. There's so many people out there that maybe they're not doing what they want, and unfortunately you can see that. And so it's like, I don't know if I want the service from them, but
Yeah,
you look like you'd I picture you if I was like, hey, I need you to, let's do the SEO thing you do it. I could see you like just super excited, super into it, like, oh, we could do this or we can do that. And it makes a big difference.
yeah.
It, because you love what you're doing. It's not necessarily it's work, but it's not work because you love it. So
I mean, it's 8:33 right now. So as soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna get to work. It's not like, oh my God, it's already 8:33. Let's wind it down. No,
yeah.
I already know like what I'm gonna do. I've got a new client that I just picked up, so I'm gonna be working on her stuff and getting the whole process in order. At the beginning, that's the whole key to everything, is having a process to everything, right? And it makes it so much easier no matter what you do. What is your process? And if you can figure out that process, and yeah, things are going to change because circumstances change, but if you can figure out a process, it makes your job that much more lovable and easy, right? And that's the way life is. I think of my business as how life should be. I
Mhm.
worry about me, and that's the only person I can worry about. I don't worry about what everybody else is doing. I mention competitors, but for me, I have no competitors. Like, I don't
Mhm.
worry about what they're doing, because as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, nobody can compete with me. And that's the way life should be for everybody. Focus
Right.
on you. You can't change, everybody. The only person you can change is you. That's it. And that's what you got to do. Because even at 54, Adrian, I'm still adapting. I'm still changing. There's things that you've got to keep doing, because if you don't, then that's where you get stuck in that rut mentally, and that's the worst thing you can ever do. I'm not saying I've never been there. Yeah, I was there a long time ago, but I I love what I do. I really do. I look forward to it every day.
That's awesome. Well, it looks like we're about to hit that time. So it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. Last thing I would like you to do is, if you have any websites or any social media or anything where um, people can contact you for what you're offering, the
Yeah,
SEO or marketing.
definitely. And I always offer a free analysis of your website. I'll let you know where you're at, what your online competitors are, and how I can help you grow. But best way of getting in touch with me is through my cell number, 915-526-2847. My website is MSJ Marketing Consultants with an S, plural.com. Or on Facebook, also search for MSJ Marketing Consultants, and I have a business page on there as well. But like I said, text, call, you'll find me via my mobile.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I learned so much from you, and I'm sure everybody else will be able to get some value out of what you're saying.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, Adrian. And I wish you nothing but success on your endeavors. So good luck with all that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So you heard it, the ins and outs of SEO, and from what I see and what I've talked with Mario is just he is super excited about what he does, passionate about it. And when you have a business like that, a business owner, you don't have to worry about any of the integrity things behind it, because they're there to help you out. They got into it because that's their passion. They wanted to help people out. I know at one point in time I had my own questions about certain things, and he's through the conversation, this podcast that we had, he's definitely cleared up a lot. And I think that's just, you know, we should give opportunities to businesses out there like Mario's, where they're trying to help you out. And ultimately, in the end, you're going to see return on that. At first, yeah, there is an investment, but in the end, there will be a return as long as, you stick to the plan. And yeah, that was great. I had a good time talking with Mario, and definitely much success to your business. And I want to thank everyone for listening and watching. We'll see you next time.